Hello everybody, it's Silvana. Welcome back to the channel. So today's video, I wanted to talk a little bit about how I write, and I'll give you some what I'm talking about and the reasons why I wanted to talk about this. So let's start with what I mean. I believe in other episodes that I've talked quite a bit about literally how I write. That I write my rough draft into Scrivener, and then I put it up into Google Docs, and then I do my edit there, and then once my edit and rewrite was all done, I put it down into Word and I sent Google Docs grammar and spelling check through it when it was all done, and then I did it all into Word to do the same and throw Grammarly at it, and I called that a finished edit. And that is, a writing process, certainly. What I mean is literally like my daily process of writing. My writing schedule. Now, I know I have a video that's a little old now where I was talking about my schedule and showing Trello, and on my update, I updated that I had stopped using Trello to use OneNote instead. And that is true, but I don't necessarily follow that schedule. I would like to in time. It is my hope and endeavor to do that in time, and people who can, even so loosely a base schedule, follow a schedule, I really give them props. And the reasoning for this is because I've watched a couple Authortubers like Emily and Brooke and Kate talk about not only their own writing schedules, but Kate just did a video where she tried to write in other people's writing schedule. Also because I've read some of On Writing by Stephen King, where again he goes into his writing schedule and gives advice about having a writing schedule. A lot of authors, um, not only King, Anne Rice, J.K. Rowling, and quite a few other really big names, talk about the benefits and the importance of having a writing schedule, where you're getting up around, and they do give a little, some do, some don't. Like King, he doesn't do time except for uptime. So what I mean by that is, he says, I get up at this time and then I go into my office and I write. But when he talks about writing, he doesn't say I write for so long. He says he writes for so many words. And that he writes those words again and again and again, going back over them until they're good, and then that's his work for the day. And he rarely goes over that word count for the day, but he does that literally pretty much every day. I believe he said in an interview that as a younger man, the way he did that was, via carrying a notebook or something of that nature with him, and at that time, especially if you're talking way back at the beginning of his writing career, when he was still working as a teacher and stuff, that that time period would be, after work before bed. And then as soon as he had sold enough books that he and Tabby felt that he could quit his day job and work full time just writing and they would be fine, then what time of day he was writing changed to the morning because that's what worked for him. And that is one of the things I do see that he's saying, that he said more in talks with, because he still to this day goes to colleges, most specifically the one in Orono, uh, and has conversations with, giant um, rooms of aspiring writers and stuff. They're almost always from the English department, about find time to write, whether that's in the morning or in the afternoon or in the evening or the middle of the night. If you have school, if you have work, if you have other things you have to do, then, find time around that stuff, but find time to write. But he's firm. He's one of those firm. It doesn't matter when, just every day. Other writers are even more strict than that. Um, Piers Anthony talks about that he writes specifically these months in the morning from this time to this time, period. And the only time he's missed that writing time is if, serious things, injury to his children, his wife going into labor, stuff like that has occurred where he's had to miss it. And that the invent of computers and laptops seriously help with that because you can take your writing with you. And I love that they talk about that because it is interesting to see the difference. Although I have noticed, like I said, most writers seem to do it, that have a schedule like that tend to do it in the mornings. They get up at 6, 7 o'clock, and by no later than 9, they're at their desk. And other than really JK, who did hers in coffee shops, everybody seems to have a desk. And they write, whether that's a word count or an amount of time differs between them, but for however long, and then they're done and can do whatever else they need to do the rest of the day. And I guess in a way, that makes sense. You get your work done and then you can play. So that's kind of the why I kind of want to talk about this. So let's talk about my schedule, or not schedule, as the case may be. I tend to get up lately, last month or two, around noon. I have tried to get up earlier than noon. I really have. Sometimes I can do it for a day or two. Sometimes I can do it for a month or so, but it never really seems to stick. And at this stage and age of my life, I'm not sure if it's worth fighting myself to get up at 7 or 8 or 9 and go to bed, between 11 and 2 at night at some point. I don't know if it's worth it. I really don't. So I get up, I wake up, and I see where the words are. Some days I wake up and the words are already, they may have started in at night when I was going to bed. I might have had an idea, which I'll get to in a minute when I get to the end of my day. I'll tell you what I do about that. Um, so if the words are already there and eager, then I use my big computer, the one I record on, and I'll put something on for noise. I'll go on Spotify and put some music on. I'll go on YouTube and put ASMR for typing sounds on. It just depends what project we're talking about, and I'll get into that in just a sec. But I'll put something on so that it's not quiet. I'll grab my laptop and I'll type. Now, the reason why, if the words are pushing right away, I grab my laptop is because I'm not alone in my house, and I know my husband will be getting up in an hour, or sometimes in a half hour, sometimes it might be a couple hours depending on what time it is I'm up, and he's going to want to watch TV. So I don't want to be typing on what we use as our entertainment when he gets up, and then he can't watch something before having to go to work. So I use my laptop. Before I had my laptop, yes, I would have to use the desktop that I record on. And so that schedule was a little different. That was the time period where I was more forcing myself to get up in the morning. But that was also because his schedule was different then than it is now. And he was working in the mornings. So we'd get up together in the morning at about 9. He'd go to work and I'd start writing because I had the computer to myself because he was at work. He's not going to want to watch anything, and I would work until, my word count, I ran out of words. It was never about the time for me. So if I'm wanting to write, that's how I write. I write with the words. If they're coming a lot, now that did change. At first, I was writing to my word count, and then I was stopping, no matter what the words were doing. And I found out really in July, because this is all brand new. This is the first try of everything for me. So this is a lot of trial and error, and this is a lot of learning. And that's another reason why I'm making the video, is because in time, I'm going to make another one, maybe after I've published the first book or so, and see if it's changed and update that, because I find that interesting. And I'm hoping you guys will too. How something simple as when do you write or how do you write changing as you go along in practice. But first you're drafting stuff, it's all brand new. It's throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. By completion of 6 books or so, I'll have a lot more handle on it. It might be a lot different. It will just wait and see on that front. But I was writing to the word count, and when I got to those words, I would stop. And then in July, I was doing that for the 50 Shades rewrite, even though the words kept wanting to come. And then I got about halfway through the month, and I ran into some emotional problems and some personal issues, and that killed my that killed my writing for a while. I never did get back to that in July. I never did get back to it. And then I was upset because there were so many days, between the 1st of July and about the 12th where I could have written so much more than I did because the words wanted to come that I didn't because I'd hit my goal for the day. And so I was quote unquote done. So that's where I've, picked up knowledge. I have the ability, the luck, whatever you want to call it, that I don't work. I'm disabled, so I don't work. I'm at home all day, every day. So if the words are coming and it wants to write, I'm going to write. That's what happened the very, very first day that I got into the new Project 9, is I was what I was calling cruising with the words. They weren't coming, you know, fast, but they were steadily coming. And so, I would write 100, 200, 300 words, and then they'd stop for a couple minutes and I'd watch a little bit of TV, or I'd get up and get some coffee, or I'd make some lunch or whatever, and then they would come again and I'd write some more, and then they would stop and I'd play some solitaire or blush or whatever, and I just did that steadily throughout the day and ended up writing, I want to say it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,500 words, which was way over my goal, my high goal. And that's the other thing I've done, is I've got a high goal and a low goal. But also I've given myself permission where if I have days like yesterday where the words really aren't coming, they're there and I could force them. But if I let them sit while I think about it and just take, a rest day, they're going to be better when they do come, and they're starting to percolate right now. I think that's more because I'm just waking up. But yesterday I didn't really have any words at all. And that's okay too. It's not a race. I'm not on a clock. I don't have to have this book, the zero draft of this book written by X date, or the publisher's going to get mad or something. Which, again, it's nice to have that freedom of, if I can't write or I don't want to write or something's going on where I don't have time to write, family comes over or I got to go to an appointment or something like that. I have that freedom to do that, and the writing waits. You know, during times where the words aren't coming, I do other things. I play a lot of video games on my computer. I talk to friends. I do my dishes. I clean the house. I put laundry away. Obviously, not all together because, again, my physicality doesn't allow for that. But, that's the type of stuff I do when I'm not writing. I spend time with my husband, with my roommate, whatever. Eventually, it'll be bedtime. I may have written a bunch of words by bedtime. I may have written no words before by bedtime. It just, again, like I said, depends on the day, and I'm willing to let myself have that flow. I find the stress or the less stress much better for my creativity to keep me writing, and much better for my mental state. Keeps me in a much calmer frame of mind, a happier frame of mind. I'm not so down on myself if I give myself some leeway. If if I'm all done writing and I've gone to bed, and this has happened multiple times before, and I have an idea while I'm in bed, I don't want to get back up out of bed and come back out to the living room to get the laptop. And I could take the laptop with me to bed, but that's a dangerous proposition because I'm easily distracted by the laptop or by a computer in general, where I'll start playing games and stuff or watching YouTube, and that's not good for bed. So no. So what I'll do instead is I have Discord on my phone, and I have someone that I talk to that's one of my betas. That's my idea central. So we have a standing understanding that if I have an idea and I'm someplace out in, outside, like at the grocery store or something, or if I'm in bed and something pops, I open up my Discord to my private conversation with them. I send that, put it there so that, because I have Discord on my laptop, on my computer, so that I can, get home or get up and I can get it off of the Discord onto wherever it needs to go. So no questions today, really. I just thought it would be interesting to get a peek at how I write. I am going to make another video in a day or so, or it'll be up in a day or so, about how I edited Project Ghost and my plans on how I plan to edit probably everything and some of the reasons why. If you guys have anything particular you want me to talk about when it comes to writing, editing, or anything like that, definitely, comment down below or private message me through the YouTube thing and ask. I'm more than happy. The more ideas I have for videos, the more we can talk to each other. Also, I believe that we've had a conversation about a more vlog type style of a video where you guys actually see me. I'm debating with that because my filming items are my webcam on my TV and my cell phone, and that's about it. Because my video camera, which is actually the size and shape of a camera, is in storage. But even then, I don't have a professional camera of any kind. I don't have a tripod or any kind of stabilization. And really, a day in the life of me is going to consist a great deal of me just sitting on the couch, either playing video games or talking on Discord to my friend. And that's not going to make for a sensational video. So I want to thank you all for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and do all the do's below. And I hope that you guys have a really great day.